Hey, how's it going, guys? We're gonna try things out now. Hopefully we have found a solution here. And we're gonna be starting in the Rzhev salient. So let me go ahead and lower the audio here a bit. I know somebody asked to lower the music volume. I totally agree with that. We'll get some weather and ambient sounds down as well. And now we will get started. So we are playing the first mission of the actual game. And this is the Rzhev salient. So basically the idea, as far as I understand it, is to break our units out of the Rzhev salient. Of course, with the consistent Russian attacks, they actually managed to poke a hole basically in our salient, cut us in half from the rest of our army, and that unfortunately basically sealed our fate in terms of where we're going to get stuck. Give me 1 second, guys. I am opening up the Slytherin group page. I want to make sure I see what you guys are typing. We do apologize for the restarts. We tried this before and it worked just fine, so maybe it was something to do with our connection. I'm not sure. Following our failure to take Moscow, fierce Soviet counterattacks have pushed back the front line. On January 8th, the enemy has launched a large winter offensive. It now threatens to cut off our whole northern flank in the area between Rzhev and Vyazma. The most imminent threat comes from the Soviet advance west of Rzhev, driving two massive wedges in our flank. If these offensives are not stopped and reversed, it will jeopardize our entire position. Simultaneously, Rzhev and Vyazma are pressured by a general Soviet advance from the east. The enemy is paying a high price for their gains, however. And while both sides have taken serious losses, there are signs that the Red Army is close to exhaustion. We must hold on our key command posts and supply depots in the area. Falling back in the east to strengthen the Rzhev-Vyazma line is certainly an option. Due to the harsh winter blizzards, the Luftwaffe is currently grounded, but they have promised to resume air operations as soon as the weather improves. So guys, we're going to get started here. We're of course playing as Germany. And as you can see, this unit is disconnected. The Soviet thrust into our northern flank has cut off some of our units. Once the main enemy attacks have been defeated, we must attempt to relieve these forces. I am going to not create a custom corps force. I'll actually let the game decide for me. So the map is the Rzhev salient for this one, guys. First things first, I think we need to actually start deploy all our units before we move forward. Let me grab the German heavy infantry here for the SS units. We'll put them back here and start moving them in as well. And we're also going to purchase some tanks as well, if we can afford them. The SS might not be able to get them, but we can certainly get them over here from our Wehrmacht units. And right now the best one, I believe, is going to be the Panzerkampfwagen 4F1. Some people might prefer the Panzerkampfwagen 3J, but I'll always take the 4F1 over the 3J. So let's go ahead and drop her here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and end our turn to begin the movement phase, or actually in this case, the enemy attack phase. Here we go, guys. Oh my goodness, look at that. They're absolutely managing to ambush our locations. Oh my goodness, they are throwing a lot at us, guys. Stop them at all costs, man. Okay, guys, so as you can see, we have to hold the 3 primary victory points. We already hold 4 out of 2 of these. I'm guessing that this means hold at least 3, so we need to keep 3. The math here is a bit off. I'm thinking that what they mean is maybe this should be reversed and it should be 2 of 4, and we have to go to 3 of 4. We also have to control all primary victory points by the end of the match, and we've got to try to capture Ryvenka and Olenino. There are secondary objectives, and apparently in this particular battle, there are partisan units we have to deal with. So, let's see what happens. Reinforcements. Several understrength and battered units have been called back to Vyazma. If allowed to rest, repair, and regroup, they will gradually recover to operational strength. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to go ahead and rest and regroup them. Now, we are just giving them regular equipment, basically regular reinforcements. We could have given them advanced reinforcements, but it's a bit expensive. Hey, Condra, how you doing, man? Yeah, we can't, Condra. We wish we could. The reason being, we really wanted to make that a special stream for just the people that showed up and watched it. So we did not save the stream. In fact, we deleted parts of it, or all of it, because we really just wanted you guys to get that sneak peek. Let's go ahead and attack, guys. Our first attack here against the Soviets. I like that face, Condra. Okay, we've got some actual anti-tank guns here. I might... Never been able to use these AT guns effectively because the enemy's never dumb enough to run right into them. But if the enemy remains here, we might try an attack with that AT gun. I'm going to take a look around here as well. So we do have to keep in mind that enemy attacks are going to be coming a lot from the east, guys. The enemy, of course, is in the east, but they're going to be attacking us from all locations. I think mostly the northeast is going to be the main attack point, but I can't be certain. So I'm going to start moving our guys up anyway. Yes, those space bugs. Thanks, man. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was definitely fun for me. Initially, I was a little concerned that I wouldn't be able to do a great job, but I think I covered the game pretty well. I'm sure some of you guys are going to end up being better players than me. Let's go ahead and attack here. Ah, good idea, Zach Blood. I'm actually going to move this unit forward, but not before turning this into a sort of anti-tank gun. So we're using our 88, and I'm hoping to use the 88 against the anti-tank or against the tank. The reason being, for those of you that don't know, the 88 was probably one of the most effective anti-tank weapons in the world at the time, and a terrifying counterpart to Sherman tanks, etc. It could easily blow them to smithereens. Let's go ahead and attack here. Stielhandgranat! And we actually managed to push the enemy back. Not too shabby. I'm also going to grab this unit right here, of course, another tank unit, and get behind the enemy and start engaging in some armored warfare. Alright, let's go ahead and attack. And right here I'm going to go ahead and... I think we can pretty much destroy this unit entirely. So let's try. Oh yeah, it's looking good. I'm even going to bring in some units here from Sychovka. Now we've got to be careful because Sychovka is actually a town we're supposed to hold. What I'm going to try to do, and I'm not sure we can, we have to see how cheap our infantry is. I'd love to just get a German infantry unit. Yeah, perfect. We'll just drop them right there so I don't feel as defenseless. Okay. Let's see if we can finish off this tank unit with the German infantry. Oh, so close, boys. So close. We're also going to send our SS units forward to Ramienka. The problem is they're in a truck right now, so if they get attacked, they're going to get smashed. It's that simple. I'm also going to bring forward the tank, and the tank, if he can manage to get on this tile, he could absolutely destroy the enemy tank there. But I just don't think we can get close enough. So we'll send the Panzerkampfwagen 3 here. And I want to take Ularovka, but I think right now these guys actually have to go to the west. I was a little too cautious there. Something I rarely am. I'm rarely too aggressive, but that time I was a little too cautious. Let's go ahead and see if we can target this enemy tank. We've got some cavalry attacking enemy tanks here. Pixel says choo-choo train time. Soviet train simulator. Only one destination, Gulag, and you'll never return. Okay, let's grab this guy here. I'm going to move him to the west as well. We still got some Soviet tanks here, T-60s, etc. And this is, of course, our units that are encircled. I am going to go ahead and just destroy this minefield. Now, they're not engineers, so they're going to take some damage, but we won't have to deal with this minefield ever again. There's, by the way, a really great German film, and it's essentially about... Sorry, guys, let me move my keyboard here so it's in a little bit of a better position. The film is This War of Mine. It's a German film, and it's actually about how after World War II, the Germans, a tremendous amount of German soldiers, mostly youth soldiers, members of the Hitler Youth, etc., were essentially tasked with clearing mines out of a number of countries as a sort of war reparations. This particular story takes place in Denmark, or maybe I believe it's Denmark or Norway. I'm pretty sure it's Denmark. And basically just about how they had to clear the mines. So all of these mines we see around them, it's either we clear them now or we come back and clear them later. One way or another, we're going to have to get rid of them. We've got, of course, a nice Nebelwerfer unit here. I'm not going to mess too much with him. Although I might move westwards with this infantry unit. Let's do it. Of course, we must be in extremely cold temperatures. And I wonder what you guys think. Would you prefer the Russian summertime, where the mud is so thick that driving a truck a kilometer takes an hour? Or would you prefer the wintertime, where you could probably drive pretty well, but the second you're out of the vehicle, you are in sub-zero temperatures, absolutely freezing? I mean, I think both would be pretty horrendous, pretty difficult to deal with, but it's just amazing. Okay, we're going to go ahead and try to get rid of that group of mines as well. And as for our anti-tank gun, I am going to move it close to Markovo, because I want to see what the Soviets have here. Not the greatest unit to be trying to scout with, of course. But again, I don't have much love for the AT guns. Although somebody suggested here, Zach Blood, to use them behind the infantry, which I think is a pretty good idea. I've never tried to use the anti-tank guns that way, but I think the only time I found them useful is in a purely defensive setting. Keep moving. Keep moving, boys. And we'll end the turn here, guys. Wish us luck. Well, at least they used everything possible to take that anti-tank unit out. Oh no. They found our infantry on the road. Somebody mentioned an ambush before, and they're definitely ambushing us. Oh boy. Burn them, engineers! Burn them! Our men are even using dynamite to try and stop the infantry assault, but it looks like this area is definitely in danger. We're gonna have to do something about that tank. Yeah, AT gun gets totally sandwiched, says Pixel. Absolutely. Okay, once again, we're going to continue here. When Soviets take airfield, maybe Soviets fly planes? Very possible. In Soviet Russia, plane flies you, or something like that. Let's go ahead and smash the enemy here. I'm really going to try to focus on the tank. And in fact, I'm going to attack from this forest tile. But before I do, I'm actually going to go ahead and reinforce. Here we go. Enemy's going to fall back. And now I'm going to focus on the enemy infantry. So let's actually fire at the cavalry. They shouldn't be out here in the first place. But vodka equals weather doesn't matter, says Pixel. Indeed, indeed. Okay. Alright, nice. We got a pillbox here. I'm immediately going to open up on the enemy. I'm a little unsure with this tank. Now, part of me really wants to get behind the enemy lines and attack their tank, but I'm starting to think that that is a little risky, to say the least. I'm going to move this guy back, and despite being on a frozen river tile here, I'm actually going to open fire on this Russian unit. And unfortunately, I'm not going to attack with the infantry. They definitely need reinforcements. But I'll send them back to Bechgavo and see if any of the local people would like to join the Ost Brigades. It's quite possible. I mean, if you're in Belarus especially, the Germans did take quite a lot of Ost Brigade members, but the deeper they got into Russia, the harder, obviously, that was to find. Also because the Germans viewed the Russians as subhuman, that caused some issues, of course, as well. I'm going to go ahead and take my SS unit and attack the enemy here. Ooh, look at that. We just got a commander, guys. Johannes Bolter. So I'm going to give him to the... actually, no, he's a Wehrmacht unit. So actually, I'm going to give Bolter... Let's turn him over to the tank over here. So now this Panzerkampfwagen 4 can definitely destroy the enemy tank. Nice work. We'll cut them off even more. Open fire again here. And of course, I will take Palyuvki immediately. At the same time, I'm going to start attacking the enemy here. Let's wipe them out entirely. We've got a nice firing from both locations, essentially, because we have a unit here on the other side of the enemy. And obviously our goal is to take the city over here. Even though it's not one of the main objectives, just taking it will show the enemy we've got some control of the battlefield. And I think we could wipe out these units. Danke! This is our battlefield. Alright, men, keep moving. I was worried about this, so I knew they were going to come from the east, I just didn't know when, and they are showing up now. Only a regular infantry unit to start off with, but believe me, that's not going to be the last of them. We've also got a really interesting looking 7.5 centimeter gun. It's supposed to be an artillery gun, but the barrel is so tiny on this thing, it's a little creepy. It's just a very small barrel. Alright, seems to work. I mean, kind of. Not the most effective artillery gun for sure. Let's go ahead and reinforce this unit, and we'll reinforce this unit as well. In fact, we might not even need to reinforce this unit. We can send him right out. He's already up to 9. I don't see that getting much better. And besides, we have to try to save our German infantry here on the road. Now, I think we could probably send these guys reeling if we attack. Let's see if I'm right. Yep, sure enough. So we're going to chase this guy, but of course we could still be ambushed and destroyed. Pixel says, tank drives straight into swamp. Not quite, not quite. Swamp is frozen. It's easy to make drive. But yeah, no, it's definitely not a place you want to be, is in the water with any kind of tank. In general, with tanks in this game and any strategy game worth its salt, should only be effective in open territory, more or less. I mean, even a tank, maybe defending a city as well, but a tank attacking a city or a tank on a river tile, they're never going to do well. It's just not a place you want units like that. Let's keep moving to the west. And let's take the train as far as it goes. So the assembly point here at Vyazma is very, very important to hold. I'm going to try, but we basically have this Stug 3 to hold off the enemy. And as far as I understand, we actually don't have control of the Stug 3. At least if we do, I don't know why it can't move. Maybe we've moved it before and didn't realize. That being said, ah yes, now I remember. Because we moved these two guys close to each other. Fair enough, fair enough. Let's see if we have anyone else we want to move. Oh boy. Oh, that was a blistering attack. Like, I expected a few losses, but that was pretty bad. Let's open fire with our Nebelwerfer. Oh, you got to love the Nebelwerfer. And now that the 88 is ready to fire, if we can get him on the front lines, that would be very helpful. Of course, his main job is to take out anti-aircraft shells, or to take out aircraft with its anti-aircraft shells. But of course, the 88 could be converted into an extremely effective anti-tank gun too. The versatility there is pretty amazing. Okay, let's open fire on the anti-tank gun here. Attack! Achtung! Yes, I like your thinking do a better role. Like real men. He said that with very Russian typing. You do not need artillery barrage. Only women need artillery barrage. Men have no problem with this. Alright, let's keep going west. Now keep in mind, some of the finest soldiers in the Soviet Union, not to get all politically correct, some of the finest soldiers in the Soviet Union were women. In fact, there was a woman sniper that during the Battle of Stalingrad, and her name, I don't recall her name. If somebody wants to put it below, they can. She was, of course, fighting for the Soviets. And she actually started a sniper school inside Stalingrad. So during the fighting against the Russians, she was essentially training snipers to take down German officers, you know, German vehicle crews, etc., that were maybe just out on a smoke break, something like that. So the actual Soviet woman had a huge role in the war for sure. Most famous reindeer brigade, says Pixel. That's right, Pixel. All right, let's end the turn here, guys. Turning it over to the Russians. That's the one, Dave. Thank you, Dave. "309 kills. Wow. And that just goes to show you. A true femme fatale. All right, now with the enemy's attacks, they're trying to cut us off in other areas. We're going to try to stop them, of course. They're definitely going for an attack. There's no doubt about that. Fight back, Männer! Ja, das ist gut. They just destroyed our short-barreled artillery gun there. I can't say I really miss it, to be honest with you. Very ineffective artillery gun. Here we go, reinforcements, guys. Additional reinforcements can be deployed to reinforce the operations around Rzhev. Very cool. So we're absolutely going to go ahead and try to pick some more tanks up, number one. So there we go. Dave Zizou got the name of the female sniper. Lyudmila Milyanyovka Pavlichenko. I'm sure I totally mangled that, but I tried. And basically, yeah, she started a sniper school within Stalingrad. She taught a lot of other snipers, even the famous Vasily Zaitsev. Many of you know him from the movie Enemy at the Gates, which, quite frankly, as far as movies go, was a pretty pitiful retelling of an otherwise amazing story, at least in my opinion. Yeah, all the action, that was great, but really the story of all of these snipers almost deserves its very own film. If not for them, I doubt that the Russians could have won the Battle of Stalingrad. And while I still hold true to the fact that the Germans could have never won the war, it certainly could have elongated the war quite a bit. There we go, attack. Ah, thanks, Wavell. So Wavell actually brought up an interesting point, and that would absolutely make sense, that that small artillery piece is able to move and fire in the same turn. Now, most artillery pieces can only move or fire during a turn. The reason being, and actually, you can kind of look at our other games like the Operational Art of War 4 and the timing system. Here in Order of Battle, obviously the timing system is a bit different, but basically to set up an artillery gun, load the shells, and fire it, you don't have time to also move it. You're either doing one or the other. So I see with a smaller gun, it's going to weigh a lot less and presumably be a lot easier to get into. So let's attack with our SS Heavy Weapons team. Oh yeah! We did alright. They defended themselves pretty well. And I'm going to take this tank unit here and actually try to sneak near the enemy. But first I want to see if I can get this guy on the road. Let's try to cut these guys off. Oh, I knew they were going to have some tanks here. Now these are T-34s, but they're models, they're 1940 models. So we're still able to sort of stand toe-to-toe with them. Although, you know, that's going to take some time. Alright, Ramyenka. Let's jump into Ramyenka, and we've taken it. Good job, guys. I want to see our general here. Johannes Bolta. Very cool guy. Okay, I think I'm going to reinforce these guys, even though the reason I might not reinforce is we're definitely going to get 2 damage on that cavalry unit. But yeah, I think it's best if we reinforce. Let's play it safe. Let's move the rest of the infantry up. Really try to hold the line here as best we can. Let's go ahead and open fire. Oh, it's not going to be too effective. We're going to have to flank the enemy. That wasn't too bad at all. Now, I doubt we can destroy him with this unit, but hey, it's not too bad. Let's go ahead and fire it with the foxhole as well. So I want to be very clear, before I was calling this a bunker. Really what this is a machine gun foxhole. Not nearly as strong as a bunker. Usually a foxhole, I mean, number one, a standard foxhole is just a hole in the ground. That's it. In this case, a foxhole is something more like a partially built wooden structure about maybe 7 to 8 feet off the ground, where you could put a machine gun inside, maybe, you know, some men inside the building to sort of defend against any incoming attacks. But under artillery fire or tank fire or cannon fire, it's going to fall apart very easily. That's why it's a lot easier for us to lose our foxholes and for us to destroy foxholes than, of course, stone bunkers. Stone bunkers actually require some work. Open fire once again. Yep, Pixel said it perfectly. I think if there's a definition for foxhole, a Russian definition, because American foxholes are a bit different, it would be a hole with logs and packed earth. Yeah, I agree totally, Pixel. And obviously, you could sort of argue over which would be more effective. I think the American version would be much more effective in an infantry attack, because the moment that the enemy sees even a little bit of that bunker, they're going to know where you are. At least with a foxhole, you could take cover pretty easily, but that bunker is a structure that everybody can see. That being said, in the cold temperatures of the Soviet Union, most of the Soviet Union, let's remember it's a very, very large territory, in most of the Soviet Union, you're going to need the warmth of that foxhole to keep some men alive. So that might be the reason that they actually have that structure. And we've taken the city, but yeah, this unit could be cut off next turn. I'm going to trust that they can finish their job, though. And let me also send in some infantry here, even at the risk of losing some men. I want to get them to retreat, because I think the reason our unit can't get such a good attack is because we're on that river tile. So let's move up and attack. So close to a victory there. We're going to start an attack here as well on the enemy artillery. Okay, let's see. So we've got the heavy weapons team here. I'm going to move them to the northwest. I mean, most of our units are going to be going to the west, which seems kind of counterintuitive, because realistically we should be going to the east, but this is why the Soviets did what they did. This forces us to go back to save our army. If we don't, then of course these guys are lost, and that's exactly what happened in Stalingrad. Of course, we're playing a different battle here, but Stalingrad, by the way, guys, is available in this particular campaign, Panzerkrieg, from the perspective of the Germans. And in Stalingrad, those soldiers were just trapped. There was no way to reach them. There was no way to get them out. With these guys, we can probably save these guys, but it's going to take a lot of fighting. I'm surprised they held out so well there, and it looks like they're approaching us from over here. Let's open fire, give them a little wake-up call. And even though we didn't damage them, I do like to think that we at least scared them a little bit. We showed them that we mean business. Those grenades fly too slow, says Strategus. Actually, there's an option to increase the turn animations for your soldiers. If you guys would like me to do that, please feel free. I've already increased the turn animations for the enemy so that their turn goes by really fast. But personally, I love seeing the animations of the soldiers fighting. That could just be me. If it is, let me know, and we will, of course, turn that off. Poor infantry at 1 strength point, says Pixel. Yeah, they're not doing so well, but, you know, they're going to do their absolute best. Now, right here, we're about to lose the town of Rzhev. This is a major, major town. So I'm going to try. I don't think we can purchase a Panzerkampfwagen. We can get some German engineers. Can we get a German heavy infantry unit? Oh, no, we can't. It's weird that we can get Gebesjägers, but not a German anti-infantry unit. A little strange, but I'll take the Gebesjägers. And we're going to try to protect Rzhev. I'm even going to take this unit, who I was planning to use in our western attack. Unfortunately, he's going to have to head up to Rzhev as well. We cannot lose that city. We can't afford to lose that city. Okay, I think we can let the boys out here. Let's move forward with the Stug. Down he goes. And these are Soviet partisan units, guys. So we managed to take out one. Let's see if we could take out the other. And this would give us... one of our secondary objectives would be completed, which is to destroy partisan units. And I can't tell you how much in this particular game, how important it is to try and level your guys up. One thing about Panzerkrieg that's really cool is if you have Blitzkrieg, you can always actually take your army that you used in Blitzkrieg and transfer it over to Panzerkrieg, which I highly recommend. If you don't, then you really want to make your army in Panzerkrieg strong, and you want to try to save as many units as possible. You don't just want to be losing units left and right. Because these guys are essentially going to grow with your men and grow with your army. And of course, the better your army, the easier the game is going to be. Another secondary objective right there, says Pixel. Yep, that's right. Absolutely right, Pixel. I want to move these guys forward, but I'm going to give them some reinforcements here. Why not? And we'll also keep on moving forward with the German Infantry 41. I'm wondering if I should go... Yeah, I'll send this guy to the north. Why not? Alright, turning it over to the Soviets, boys and girls. Very nice shot there. Wow. They're getting rid of our bunkers, but I'm not too concerned about losing bunkers, put it that way. Hey, Zyler, how you doing? And SGBU. Welcome, everybody. If you guys are new to the Twitch channel, please make sure to subscribe. Also, take a look at our YouTube channel. Subscribe there so that you can get the entire Matrix Slytherin experience. Okay, there we go. So we did not manage to rescue the encircled infantry units. And I'm guessing that means we have to rescue every single one of the units that were in the trapped zone. Luckily, that's not a necessary objective. So you've got primary objectives, which you have to hold, and secondary objectives, which you sort. It's totally up to you. Of course, completing those secondary objectives is going to increase your points in-game and could help you later on. I had to leave the town to destroy that Soviet unit. Of course, now maybe they'll take Vyali. But we can take it back. We definitely have more strength in this area than they do. Some people think we might lose Rzhev. Have faith, brothers! Okay, opening fire here on the artillery piece, guys. And actually, I'm going to try to cut off the enemy a bit here. Let's see if we could probably do some damage here. But let's first use our SS unit and try and wipe out the Soviet heavy infantry here. So is that a Maxim against a DPS HK, I'm guessing? There we go. Dead Soviet infantry unit. We'll move forward. And we'll keep moving forward. We've got actually quite a strong infantry assault here. Nice, beautiful victory there. Don't worry, guys. We'll take a look at Rzhev as well. Oh, I see what you mean. Yep, the enemy's in Rzhev for sure. I don't think they're going to get very far though. I'm pretty sure we can kick them out. Might take a little bit of work though. For this guy, I'm just going to go ahead and get some reinforcements. And unfortunately, this guy is trapped behind enemy lines. But we can possibly take out their artillery. If not, that's okay. I will save him. I think we have plenty of time. But we do need to go ahead and regroup some of our units. So they're going to have to wait. They're going to have to be patient. Sort of survive another night there in the freezing cold while we decide what to do. I think we can get a pretty good attack here. Let's go for it. So the reason we got a bonus there, and we actually also got a bonus to our losses, the reason we got a bonus on attack is because we had this unit here. So we were basically hitting it from two opposite tiles, and it basically encircles the enemy. It's a much better way to fire than just, of course, attacking with a single unit, but either can be used. Now, I would attack here, but as you can see, the chances are we're going to lose 2 units. It's 2 in favor of the Soviets. 0+ usually means you might get 1, but I don't think it's worth it. So we're going to go ahead and just wait there on that front. We'll keep moving forward with this tank. Let's get to Kamyanets. And maybe we could send him over here to assist. I think that's actually what I'm trying to do with him, basically. We've still got this unit trapped in the town, and I'm just going to reinforce. Let's go. really nice attacks here. Yeah, it definitely has. Belly has fallen, Pixel. I think you're absolutely right. Okay, let's take a look here. So primary victory points. So this is a little weird. I hope that if we retake the primary VP, we can still win. And I think that's the case. As long as we control all of these by the end, that's one of the objectives, then we should be fine. So first things first, I do want to attack this cavalry unit. And I might go ahead and attack them instead of going to Rzhev. These are actually Gebesjägers. They're mountain/ski troops of the German army. But hopefully we can send these guys into Rzhev, and sure enough, we can. So Rzhev is back in our hands, although probably not for long. And I'm still going to try to chase that enemy tank with our tank. Let's see if we can finish off this T-34. And this is a model 1941. A little stronger than the model 1940. Fire. Good work, boys. There we go. And we've also saved this unit. Let's go ahead and try to assist him a little bit more. And we might even be able to take Staritsa from the enemy here. I really like that name too, Staritsa. Let's go ahead and attack here. We might be out of supply, but we can still fight back. And that is a dead enemy unit. So I'm actually going to leave this town, try to get back in the supply zone, although maybe we would have been better off just staying in the town and doing sort of like a last stand. Move forward with the tank. Oh, partisans scattered, guys. After suffering heavy casualties, Soviet partisans have withdrawn and no longer pose a threat to our supply lines. The flow of resources and ammunition has improved, and supply stockpiles have been built up in key positions. That's great news. And it also goes to show you that with the secondary objectives in Panzerkrieg, you're not only going to be getting points to increase the amount of units you have, but if you do some of the secondary objectives, you can actually make the level a bit easier on yourself. So we've crushed the partisans. We don't have to worry about them anymore. They're dead here on the road. That's wonderful news for us. I'm also going to bring some reinforcements to this unit, whereas with this unit, I'm going to keep moving forward. I think what we'll probably do is go over here to Grodno. And it's not Grodno, it's Gorodno. Grodno is actually quite an important city. And maybe even get over here. In fact, I think we can start attacking already. Yes! Oh, yes! We will take the city back. Good shooting, boys. Let's get some reinforcements. We could only really get one there. That's unfortunate. Always trust your gut, because I knew that attack was a poor choice, but I was like, maybe we could try it. No. Not even close. He's gonna run away. I'm gonna try to kill this tank, guys. This would be a truly heroic infantry squad if they could take out this tank right here. Thanks, Pixel Messages. Hope you get some resources to get some more units. Oh, absolutely. Me too. All right, let's destroy this tank. Come on, boys. I'm not sure what kind of incendiary device the SS are using, but it's definitely not a regular Stellengranat. It looks like almost a mix between a Molotov cocktail and a Stellengranat. Maybe some sort of flaming grenade. I'm really not sure. Maybe a white phosphorus grenade. Oh, something to consider. Go ahead and get some reinforcements here. Reinforcements up here as well. It looks like we can't get the reinforcements, but since we're 2 tiles away, we can go ahead and use our mortars here on the enemy unit. And of course, even if we were 1 tile away, we could still use those mortars. They're basically an alternative to an attack. And of course, your men don't have to put their lives on the line. They're firing from a distance. They don't have to worry about getting shot at. So it's definitely something I would take a look at. Move forward some more. Oh boy. Yeah, I can see how we were cut off here. Run away, boys. If all we can do is confuse them by attacking Olenino, then we'll do it. I'm gonna move this guy forward too. I really wanted to fire at their tank, but at this point I'll fire at just about anything. That being said, that guy would not do well at all against that infantry unit, so we'll wait. Now, some AT guns can be used against infantry, but not many. Just like the 88 can be used against tanks and aircraft. This is true for, well, it's certainly true for AA guns. So there's a lot of anti-air guns that work extremely well against infantry units. Because they're basically just huge machine guns with bigger calibers, when you really think about it. So obviously you could turn that against an enemy unit and be pretty effective. Let's take the city back. Come on, boys. Some reinforcements here for this unit. Yeah, that is an Agrippaism for sure, the come on boys. Sort of just think of like, let's go over the top sort of thing. We need to make some Agrippa t-shirts with come on, let's go. Over the top, I say. Alright, I'm going to keep moving. With most of these units, actually with this guy, I'm moving to the east. They're just too far from the battlefield to get there in time. That's the problem. Of course, they're going to be useful, but for us to get, you know, they don't even have any actual transports. And that's actually why the upgrade button is also there on the unit itself. It's not on any of these units, but occasionally if a unit doesn't have a truck or is, for instance, inexperienced, you can always select the upgrade button and purchase a transport vehicle. If it gets really bad, then of course we'll do that. But right now we seem to be kind of holding the line. Big kind of there. Let's move forward a bit. Ah, very possible, Pixel. Yeah, sort of an improvised incendiary device. That's very, very likely. Now, at 1942, January of 1942, I think the SS was still pretty ineffective. See, what people don't realize about the SS is initially, during the war, the SS was really a political unit. You know, before 42, the SS was not at all a group of elite warriors. Not at all. Of course, they would kill a lot of civilians, burn down a lot of villages behind enemy lines, perform, you know, sort of counterinsurgency operations, if you want to call them that. But overall, they weren't considered, you know, an elite force. I think it was only after 42, maybe mid-42 to 43, when the SS really got that elite status. You know, even though they were losing the war, they were definitely tough fighters. Let's end the turn here, guys. I like that, do a barrel roll. Hope is the first step on the road to disappointment. I like that a lot. That's pretty good. All right, let's end the turn here. Although I think the first step on the road to disappointment is birth. Wouldn't it be? Here we go. Ah, attack. Alright, so they're definitely weaker here on the Eastern Front. Poor Nebelwerfer. I was really enjoying the Nebelwerfer, but it looks like the poor guy is going to be destroyed. That and let's hope for the best, says Dave Jisoo. Absolutely. Definitely an agrippism. I mean, I'm the worst combination for a commander. Number one, I'm an offensive general, so I always like to be on the offense, but I'm also very, very uncertain. So what ends up happening is I'm basically the general, like, over the top, man, let's go, let's get him. And then as soon as the guys step over the top, I'm like, wait a minute, wait. Let's think about this for a second, which is not a good combination. You've got to either be one or the other. So that's definitely something I find myself doing a lot, is sort of second-guessing, which I think any good general should second-guess themselves. But, yeah, I absolutely hear what you're saying. Oh, he's going for the all-in. Oh! He lost every single one of his 60 sliths. Okay, let's go ahead and open fire here. This guy's trapped. We might as well get rid of him. Wow, they actually escaped. I think we can kill them here. I'm surprised they got away. That's an enemy engineer squad. We definitely want them dead. Beautiful. As for our SS squad, I'm going to move them up to where the engineer squad was. And what's this? It looks like the enemy might actually have some pretty decent defenses here. Let's send our boys in. Come on, guys. Oh, we took the loss there. You know what it actually looks like? It actually looks like a gasoline barrel, a gasoline canister with a rag stuffed in the top. Which, as you guys can imagine, I don't know how effective that would be against a tank unit. Especially if the tank is well sealed. But against an enemy infantry unit, I mean, that could be devastating. No, ambushed by a very small group of infantry on top of it. Now, we did manage to do some damage, so it's not a tremendous loss, but we want to be careful. Good work, men. Another group down, with the Jägersjägers this time taking the kill. And, ooh, look at that. They've got a KV-2. So I'm sure you guys know about the KV-1 tank. The KV were, you know, it's a very, very excellent tank, but the KV-2, even better. And Herodotus 63 here, yeah, great point. So, sort of following up on what I was mentioning before, he says SS units weren't used as elite army units until late 1942, being used as mop-up units until then. Hitler then decided to prove just how elite they were and better equipped and trained than the regular army. They proved their mettle. Yes, absolutely. Love those delayed ragdoll deaths, says Dave Zizou. No, you're absolutely right, Herodotus. And that's actually, a lot of the times if I'm watching some sort of documentary on World War II, I get so annoyed when they start calling the SS, you know, elite warriors when it's like 1941. It's like, no, trust me, they're not elite warriors. An SS guy and a Wehrmacht guy get into a fist fight in 1940, the Wehrmacht guy is going to win every single time. They're just, you know, they're better trained, they've got better equipment. It was like Herodotus said, only in 42, late 42, matter of fact, when they really started to get some excellent equipment and actually started to be useful. So we are being cut off here. That unit is definitely dead. He is dead. But we're still going to try to do some damage here to this unit. Novo Davido. Reinforce. Oh, I was so certain we were going to get that one. And they actually ended up hurting us. I deserve it. I really want to take that armored car out and the tank. I want to do damage to the armored car and the tank. So, or I could attack the actual city with the infantry in it. Can't help myself. Let's go for the armored car. And now we'll turn our attention to the tank unit here. Not bad for a model 1940 at all. Let's keep on moving. Maybe we could go north. So I'm not really sure. Somebody's asking a question here about the Leibstandarte. The Leibstandarte was the SS Adolf Hitler Brigade, I believe, sort of like Hitler's personal bodyguards. That's about all I know about the Leibstandarte. I'm not sure. I mean, I can see why you would think they might be one of the SS units that was an elite unit even early on, because, of course, they were in charge of protecting Hitler, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. I could be wrong, of course. But I think all the SS units were given essentially the same equipment, and for the time period, it wasn't that good. You know, it was very, very common to see the SS marching up the road, marching up a dirt road with horses pulling their artillery and some of their machine guns, etc. That wasn't unlikely at all. Thank you, Herodotus. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they certainly, you know, in terms of committing horrible atrocities, they were capable of doing that, even in the early 40s. But in terms of actual battle, they were crushed pretty quickly. Not to mention that, well, just about no army in existence was going to treat an SS unit very well if they were captured. And I think most of the SS probably knew that if they were captured, they were going to die. So they likely retreated a lot more than they should have, especially early war. I could be wrong, but I would almost bet my life on it. Let's keep moving. Nope, we're not going to break through here. No way. Although we could do some damage to the cavalry. Ja, das ist gut, Männer. And I would guess that the SS Polizei divisions, also known as some people I guess would call them the SD, the SS Polizei divisions were, I think, for the entire war, you know, pretty, you know, they had pistols, they had Lugers, maybe some machine guns, maybe some rifles, but once again, not an elite unit by any means. Okay, I'm ending the turn. I don't want this guy to get hurt because this is where we have our awesome general unit. So I want to keep this guy around. Let's end the turn here. Pixel says, I feel cool just looking at this map. Yes. No, fight to the end, men! Okay, guys, well, we are getting here to the end of the stream. What's this weather change? The Russian winter is far from over, but the freezing blizzards have finally cleared. The Luftwaffe can now be deployed to resume air operations. So as you guys know, if you start this game, if you start Panzerkrieg, and I'm sure you guys are going to do better than I have. You've seen me, you've seen the mistakes I've made. I know you guys can improve on this. You can actually end up getting some air reinforcements during just this first battle. Again, this battle is the Rzhev salient, so I would highly recommend if you're going to pick up Panzerkrieg, obviously you're going to start with the Rzhev salient anyway. It's the first battle of the game. See how you do. Keep on moving forward. If you're having some trouble, I would recommend going back to Blitzkrieg, playing through Blitzkrieg, getting some experience, and then transferring your army over to Panzerkrieg. Remember that at any point, you can transfer your German units over to this new game, which is a really cool feature and allows you to sort of carry on a game that maybe you ended months back. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this particular Let's Play. I do want to apologize for the hiccups at the start of the stream, but I'm glad you guys had fun here, and I hope we have a few of you, or more than a few of you, pick up Panzerkrieg. I definitely think it's worth it. We've got the Battle of Stalingrad in here. We've essentially got a tremendous amount of battles from 42 onwards of the German invasion of the Soviet Union. As you can imagine, a tremendous task for any army, especially the German army, this late into the war. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Take care and have a glorious, glorious day. Thank you so much, Herodotus. Make sure, if you enjoy the show, to please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channels. Muso's going to put them down below. And sehr gut. Danke, Geno. Dankeschön. It was fun. Thanks for the stream. No problem, Vlad. My pleasure, man. And thank you to Cloud Cuckoo. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you again, my friends.